Hello and good evening to everyone. Welcome to this interactive talk on theatre. World Theatre Day. We have World Theatre Day tomorrow, that's March 27th. So, for that, we all have come today on this live talk to discuss theatre and its importance in education. Robert Holman said, the novel is more of a whisper, whereas the stage is a shout. Let's hear about this art of expression and talent with Mrs. Gurminder Chadda, an ELT expert who has not only taught ELT but has led schools, CBSE as well as ICSE, to the pinnacles of success. She's passionate, hardworking, and very dedicated. She's one of the favorite teachers of all the students and teaches drama, poetry, and prose with such enthusiasm and interest that students fall in love with Shakespeare and Wordsworth. No words can explain her excellence in education. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mrs. Chadda to the session. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you for sparing your valuable time to share with everyone.
Good evening, everybody. And hi, Hamane. And thanks for the so many expectations you have already started, especially among the listeners that I do not know. Anyway, to begin with, I'm sure you all for the last 15 to 20 minutes, if you just recapitulate that, what a fluster it must have been, what a melodrama, what a kind of a hype where everyone was trying to put things together backstage, because actually speaking, we were all into a big drama, celebrating. And no wonder Oscar Wilde has regarded theatre as the greatest of art forms. And the ironic thing is that every single day, each one of us in their respective homes, at their workplaces, anywhere in life, we are actually performers. We are powerful performers, shaping our destiny, whether it is at our workplace or at home, in our life. Theatre, of course, projects suffering, happiness, all kinds of situations which really set us thinking, and we start reflecting upon them. Nevertheless, Oscar Wilde has very rightly said, I regard the theatre as the greatest of all art forms, the most immediate way in which a human being can share with another the sense of what it is to be a human being. So, end of the day, if we reflect and think how human we have been, how otherwise we have acted, we will come to a conclusion that our life is intrinsically connected to theatre. And each one of us today sits back and is now, thanks to the portal of World Day, that is 7th March 2022. And this year it's very special because it's the 60th World Theatre Day that is being celebrated. And ITI, that is the International Theatre Institute, International Community, they all initiated it in 1962. There was a need to create an awareness, to create a movement once again that theatre is a powerful performing art. And we require this in not only in just to go and watch theatre, but at the same time, initiate our students, our children, whether they are 1-year-olds, rather they are in standard 10, senior secondary, college going, anywhere. So it raises the importance of theatre arts in the field of entertainment. The theme that has been selected this year for 2022 is Theatre, a Culture of Peace. World over, World Theatre Day is appreciated. It not only promotes beauty and value of theatre in all forms, and the best part is it is international celebration. And performances, lectures, award ceremonies, and all this once again promotes the ancient craft of drama and music and raises a global awareness. WTD provides us with an opportunity to celebrate melodrama. And we are all familiar with melodrama. It's a daily affair at home. The
Very true.
person can be, yes, you have to agree that melodrama, we are all really good at it. And street theater has taken up very well, not only abroad, but in India also. There nartaks and musicals, pantomimes, mime, ballet, all illusion, improvisation, theater, non-conventional, contemporary forms like the postmodern theater. So the idea is to celebrate all the comedies and of course the tragedies which we have been familiarized right from childhood. We all learned that the greatest master, playwright, and dramatist was William Shakespeare. And he's the one who created this sensational awareness, and all the colonial, post-colonial countries are very much aware of it. So coming to theater, as I pointed out just now, it's a collaborative form of fine art. We have a play in a school or in a class, a teacher or a facilitator is trying to initiate the child, all right, this is a small little story or an anecdote, that is fine art. And there she moves ahead. She suggests to the students with their creativity, real, imagine, they present this before the live audience. So what happens? We see a beautiful activity taking shape. Gestures are there, speech is there, song is there, music is there, dance is there, and all put together, finally a musical is staged. So theater of the descent, how they used to celebrate, and they would bring alive moments of celebration and people would gather together, and therefore they would come up with various themes and live performance were there, and it was a great experiential learning. And that is being now forward in our schools, not only schools, in our local theaters. We are blessed. I am from Chhattisgarh, so we are blessed with the age-old Tagore Theatre. There's Sapru in Delhi, and where theatre communities, they promote work in a bigger scale. So that in mind. It is not only creating awareness among the student fraternity, the teaching faculties, but also the government officials, opinion leaders, and institutions, politicians, so that they also realize the importance, the significance. This theatre can only be alive till the time we don't put life into it, we don't create this movement and keep it alive. So it becomes a duty, a more, yes, so that we continue with it. And this, yes. So now the next thing that is very important, how we can promote it in the schools. So in the curriculum, we have theatre in education. And this theatre in education is a very, very important aspect, because what are we doing? We are building theatre in education into educational programs. And here, the total perspective changes. We use theatre, drama to create variety of opportunities for the young people in an exciting manner. Just imagine a theatre group they have auditioned, they are volunteers, they want to join in theatre, and then they have so much to do. They get involved with the stagecraft, they get involved with the props, they get involved with the speech, the diction, and so on and so forth. And of course, they come with innovative ideas. So much so that even the producer sometimes is totally zapped that, well, I began this way, and how the total story is taking its shape, all due to the creative thinking, the critical thinking that each child is participating. And the best part is they have so much freedom. we can't realize that how much freedom we are bringing into our classes. And as not only as language teachers, we are encouraging and empowering them to investigate and challenge things, but also for the teacher taking social, history, economics, political science, arithmetic, any subject, twist it into a story form, create a little theater, and you will see, divide the class into your groups, and you will see what wonders and miracles can be worked. And the same set of children whom you have been impressing upon with your usual conventional manner of teaching, there is change. What happens? TIE, or as it is called in short form, theatre in education, it brings about celebration of joy of learning. And this joy of learning can only be manifested in your class if you become a joyous learner yourself. So the responsibility of a teacher in today's scenario becomes manifold. She needs to educate herself into theater, expose herself to watch plays, to and YouTube. You're lucky facilitators that you have so much material on the internet. We people in our school days, if I recall, we just depended upon long playing records. I remember that how our English teacher, she taught us Macbeth through the long playing records. And that would be played, we would be going to the music room, sitting there, and still I can actually not only feel, but imagine the witches in the Macbeth, they're running, moving around the cauldron and shrieking, fair is foul and foul is fair. And that thing is still ringing in my ears, you know, and I can visualize that. And when we studied Macbeth, it was totally different. It was again the sensory. We only have 5 senses. Our imagination wild. We were so privileged as you have. You have the world in front of you. So not only that, what I have seen, that a child who's participated in a small little theater, his self-esteem, the motivation, the achievement, the total body language changes, because they all start feeling that, well, we have learned so much, we have gained so much. So coming to the most important aspect and connecting it to the modern day way of thinking, and as Himani very nicely suggested the other day, that it's the same thing, what did you say? Same concepts now being bottled, put into fresh bottles, isn't it? What is
Old
it?
wine in a new bottle.
Yeah, old wine. That's right. That's right. So, so the 4 C's, the critical thinking, they start analyzing. Now, I can remember the school that I have been associated with, and I've spent my lifetime that we stay play umbrella bond. Now, it was very interesting. The children are told about total where the play, the location, where the play was written, the kind of people, and Missouri, the Garhwal music, and the kind of dress, the concepts, the thought patterns. So it was a great learning experience. So it's not just coming on the stage, acting, and that's over. You learn so to shape up problem solving, you learn creativity, communication, art, the diction, the modulation, the pronunciation. Each and every word is. The other day I was watching a YouTube video in which the word time had to be spelled out. You know, they had to talk about time. So the actor simply said time. He was corrected that how you have to say time, you know, so that you have to put life into that word time, because time is the one which is really governing each one of us. Creativity of the children is at its best and of course, and the best thing that they all like is, towards the production, the collaboration, the team spirit. I must tell you, this is the new age, future ready set of skills which are required. Our CBSE board, ICSE board, any school board, they are emphasizing time and again that we have to sensitize to because they have to create awareness. How can this happen if theater is not brought into the school curriculum? It is a very, very important tool. And I think as all the academicians have to keep in mind a very important thing, that at least in one term, there should be a small little class production and then go on to the next. And of course, school productions are always encouraged. Parents also look forward, and school also loves to have children participate in this because it shapes their personality. Once a child goes through this total process of learning, this journey of learning, right from auditioning to choreography to performances, things really change. It is really marvelous. So I think I can request Himani that she could just show maybe a
Yes.
workshop, so that just a clip so that one can visualize, what I'm trying to say.
Yes, ma'am. I so agree with you. And like you very nicely mentioned and said, that theater is not only going on the stage and performing, it's so much more than that, and so much work that goes behind organizing everything. This small live show we've been planning and working, and so much background has gone into it. Just
Yeah,
imagine a full play. Like
yeah.
ma'am said, I would like to share at this point a video wherein students are sharing their experiences as they learn theater, or as they lived a segment of their life, a few months preparing a play. I would like to share that. Just give me a minute.
It was 2010, and we thought we should do something for a city youngsters where both dance and theater they come together, because these are two art forms which are really closely knit together. Yeah. So the very first year we started, and the response was beautiful. A lot of students came, and a lot of them enjoyed.
When I got to know about this camp, I was really excited and I told my parents that I want to go here, whatever happens.
This summer camp was a wonderful experience for me. I learned a lot from it. I've gained a lot of confidence from the improvisations that we have done.
We weren't told to do what the dialogues and the script said, but we had to make up our own dialogues on stage. So that taught us how to think really fast.
We learned how to observe our surroundings for theatre, and it was just lovely, and it was flawless.
Theatre, it teaches you to be not afraid of anything. It teaches you to let go of your inhibitions. And this has just boosted my confidence to a whole new level.
Over here, we are making our own script, we are directing our own play, we are bringing our props, we are managing everything. So it was a very nice experience, and we got to experience theatre properly.
We learned many technical terms over here, as well as we learned how to work as a team.
I also learned that it's important to use my hands and my expressions during the play, and not to overdo it.
A lot of them were totally new to the world of theatre as well as dance. So what we focused on in these 10 to 12 days was covering with the basics of acting.
In theater, we do the basics of voice, projection, voice.
So that was the experience of a few students who actually enjoyed. And ma'am, one surprising thing was that they really enjoyed, every bit of it. Learning how to throw their voice modulation, and going slow, using hand movements and gestures.
Yeah, and the best thing is that they let go all their inhibitions. You see,
Right.
all their fears which hold them back from theatre, and their stage fright. It is such a collaborative kind of experience that they have. I must thank here, the clip that we have taken from YouTube is from Zubin Mehta from the Wings Theatre Academy, Theatre Reed Public School, Chandigarh. So he is a very, very active promoter of theatre amongst children. And to his credit, so many performances, musical performances that have been staged in schools locally in Chandigarh. And so what I find, we facilitators, well, everyone can't reach that level. Nevertheless, we should try as teachers, take small steps. And even if you have children take situation like, okay, in a class, let's do the exercise. One group to express fear, the other group has to express happiness, another group has to express anger. So what happens? We already have divided our class, and we are promoting role play. We are encouraging just for about 5 minutes. We could have a group coming up with happy expressions, joyful, excited, proud. Each one is presenting happiness and joy. We have a group of people, students at any level, we can do that. Similarly, if there is fear, if there is disgust, so Himani will be, ma'am will be sharing with you a wheel that we have prepared just to initiate some kind of emotional matter that the students can take it as a guide. The teacher especially, the facilitator especially can use it, you know. Okay, if they are surprised, okay, I have 5 students coming up. All right, each one of you express surprise. So some of them will be amazed, some of them will be startled, others will be in awe, so on and so on. So what are we doing? Not only creating a joint in the class, but a great learning is takes not only they are doing, but at the same time, they are actually enacting these emotions which can be put across. And these are small things, these pedagogical tools which can be used and to create the classroom atmosphere a very, very happy one. And this promotes, and naturally, they will always look forward to the next class, which is going to begin. So we were discussing about how these young learners learn one, which is so important, and especially nowadays for the last 2 years, I have the new digital world, and drama is one thing which we must all take support from to encourage adaptability to the surroundings, amongst themselves, tolerance, fluency of language. The communicative competence is tested when they learn so many things. For example, there is a situation in which they have to, there's a play for the adaptation of Jungle Book, and in which the character Mowgli is there, and how he is conversing with the animal characters, the kind of bonding that is created. Well, we do watch it on the digital this thing, but at the same time, when we are actually enacting it, that becomes a totally experiential learning. So that is what we are looking for, the learners basically. And lifelike situations which occur. Hello, whoever
Yes, ma'am.
or reform they have studied, we have come across human emotions. Emotion of jealousy. Emotion of jealousy is very pronounced in Othello. Likewise, you can actually create a total environment where this kind of feeling, the human element is seen and how they are promoting it. Similarly, in Macbeth, where ambition, quest for throne is so obvious. So how Julius Caesar is ambitious, the kind of relationship that they have with his friend Brutus, who's not only his good friend, and later he's the one who idealizes and realizes that the decision he has to take. So the decision-making skill also is focused in theater building when this kind of experience is there. And most important is how they are encouraged to use their body language. The other day I was reading about one of the experiences of a child where he was supposed to be just a prop, to be a dog sitting in front of a kennel. And he says, initially I was very embarrassed, but when the performance was done, every good practice, in the end of it, I never felt just nice that I was part of the production. So it how big your role is or small your role is, as we say, that theatre should come in the class, and that is very important. And later you come across such great talent and you'll be surprised. Today's child is a very different child because of their last 2.5 years exposure to the digital world. They understand things so well, and they understand human emotions, and they love to project because they want audience. The first time they have realized that they want live audience also. So like this, if theater is created at least once a week in one of the activity classes, there will be a tremendous kind of bonding amongst the children and great learning takes place. So then what happens? Whatever their limitations are, they learn to accept them. And they also accept others. That is the very important thing. And that's what life is all about. We have to learn to accept ourselves and to accept others. And what better tool than theater? That is what I can think about. So I was the other day thinking that we are always thinking of focusing theatre to make them learn an English language. Definitely they learn, they pick it up very fast. And so much so, it is so beautiful, they even learn the dialogues of the others. You know, if supposing there is this character, Peter Pan, in this famous play, it was a musical, and where you recapture the world of childlike innocence and everlasting innocence, joy, adventure. So what happens, they not only learn their own dialogues, they also learn the dialogues of the others. And they are the ones who become prompters. This is a great thing. And they know who has to follow what, and they carry on, with this kind of thing. And the best thing is the participation of the choir group. They have much to contribute as far as their songs are concerned, and of course the choreography, the dances that they present. So all this makes the total ensemble a very beautiful experience for the viewers also. So this opportunity should be given to each child. This is my request to the facilitator. Equip yourself today and expose yourself to the various kind of theaters, even short stories picked up from your English language textbooks. Write down a small script. Ask the children to write a script. They will be so good at it. They will participate so well. They will make your class alive. And imagine how well the lesson will be taught. And naturally, again, practices, production, presentation, such live wire experience I do recall one of the plays, one of the productions we had in our school, in the high school musical. I know how the children were participating, the joyous experience they had. And not only that, if it becomes an annual feature, you will see how children will be shaping up every year. So that is something very, very important for all of us to remember. Anything else you feel I should be
One very interesting thing that you've said is
talking
that
about?
there is something for everybody to do. So I know there are teachers, I know in annual functions, sometimes what happens is nowadays there's a trend of everybody participating. So I feel what schools do is that the children who are not able to perform very well, they make them a tree. So they stand behind as a tree. Now, when we do a theater performance in a theater play, like you're saying, we should have an annual theme. Children can be script writers. They can be, choir. They can be a part of the dress up team. They could be like, there are
Yes.
different things that they can be instead of being a tree.
Yeah, that is definitely there. And the best thing is that while they are learning, just imagine how much they are observing, how much of what kind of thinking process is going on, what kind of time management. They know exactly that after this scene, this prop has to move in. They
Yes.
rush to the stage, leave the prop back. They are backstage helpers. I have that back experience as well too. They quickly go and give a cue to somebody who's really forgotten. The best thing about theatre is improvisation. You see, supposing somebody has forgotten a line, there will be always somebody prompting, somebody trying to, butt in, and you say, okay, now do it like that. So that becomes a beautiful experience, and it makes them so balanced, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Here I'm reminded that Shakespeare has always been kind of a very challenging study. People feel that the Shakespearean language is very difficult. But the teachers, the facilitators, or even parents pick up passage from the play, that particular play, and ask them to simply translate it. Use a dictionary, translate it, and understand the gist of it. There's no need to go into the real depth of it. The idea is to expose them to theatre, whether they are reading it, whether they are performing it. And for that, I've shared with Himani, ma'am, a small little exercise, which I think she will share later, in which, and I have taken the extract from As You Like It, and where very appropriately it has been said that all the world stage, all the men and their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, and I think you can all agree. And if you just go through the rest of it, you will identify what stage you are in, and understand the kind of depth William Shakespeare had in understanding human nature. So that is something really, really laudable. I'm also reminded that we should ask, not make drama simply the study, just like the National Education Policy has introduced AILS, Art Integrated Learning. Why not have theatre as a cross-curricular study, so that the children who are taking up a particular subject, theatre can be also used as a very important tool. I was just thinking the other day that in this vast ocean of plays that have been written, children, I have suggested few, which all students at every age should, watch these possibly. Wizard of Oz, The Lion King, if you recall your childhood, maybe sometimes you participated in that. Jungle and world of childlike innocence and everlasting youth, and the magical island of Neverland. And I remember Captain Hook, Cruel, Dreadful, the choir singing, yes, we believe, oh, we believe, yes, we believe in fairies, and a message, yes, you must have, believe in fairies, be like a child sometimes. So similarly, High School Musical, I was talking about, Dickens, Oliver has been staged. So many productions are there. And each production, the set of participants, the artist outdoes the previous one. And it is amazing that when we were talking about Othello, we get to know about human nature, the green-eyed jealousy, how Othello, who's supposed to be a great leader, a warrior, but at the same time, he is having one flaw, a major flaw in the character, and that is Othello. And that's what makes us introspect that, well, maybe we all have our, but then we have to solve that problem and get over them. Macbeth's blood-red quest for the throne, Julius Caesar's ambition, dilemmas, conflicts, Lady Macbeth. I think we have shared a video also about Lady Macbeth, Judi Dench performing Lady Macbeth, and her dilemma, her conflict, and how she urges her husband to kill of competition, that is King Duncan, and so on, and Banquo, the kind of sound effects that are created in Macbeth, the witches scene, they are actually, the fire is crackling, the cauldron is burning, and the witches are running around and they're shrieking and cackling. All that brings theatre so much to life that it engrosses the audience and you are actually transported to the world of supernatural. We have a great culture of mob scenes also in Shakespeare, and they are remarkable. Masquerades are there. They are also remarkable. And they add to so much of fanfare and intrigue. And so when we go through all, and this is an important aspect which I feel all teachers should be evaluating. At least once a month, they should have the opportunity to watch some kind of a production so that they equip themselves and empower themselves to further groom the children of the 21st century. They require theatre so much. I have shared one video with you, ma'am, in which the child that how have done with you. Right time, have time, you can one another thing in the junior school and even in the senior school, puppetry can be a wonderful medium, especially when you have to teach them etiquette, manners. And I was sharing the other day how puppetry can be improvised. You can sit at home and, you know, kind of make puppets. A small little stage can be set up with cardboard and all that. And children are so innovative, they can do that. And that can be used in your classroom also without spending much. A wonderful prop can be there, and you can actually teach so much through the medium of puppetry. Age appropriate plays are very, very important. That part you have to keep in mind. Naturally, the teacher has to take a call. She has to create a context related to the students so that they know exactly what has to be talked about. And to interesting activity which transports you to your childhood, I was just exploring. That is the dramatic activities. There's a list which is endless. And one of them, which you can all relate to, is the tongue twisters. Betty Botter had some butter, but she said, this butter's bitter. If I bake this bitter butter, it would make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter, that would make my batter better. So she bought a bitter better than her bitter butter. I never spoke at a rapid pace. I know it would be actually twisted. Better best, never let it rest. Till good is better and you better best. So these are some of the things I have collected, and I will share with Himani ma'am also, so that you can always use that as a ready available tool for you to develop. So what does this world of theatre want from us? What we do today as audience? You have been listening to me for all this while. Thank you very much, sirs. But what is it that we can do now that we don't have lockdowns? Fortunately, we don't have to be very, very careful, but careful yet careful. We can always visit a local theatre. But there has been such a transcendental change in the online productions that you can even watch that. So what happens? You are trying to support this great forming, and as things for this, we have to involve ourselves. So join in the celebrations, the Theatre Day. This is very, very important. So coming to the last bit that I would like to share with you is that the 6 C's of education, which I'm so sure the teachers would like to know because they're all involved with the nationally have to propose collaboration, communication, citizenship. On citizenship, I would like to speak a little. On character, I would like to speak a little. That you are able to critically analyze the character. For example, I'm taking Tagore's any particular play, story, and the script has been written, and we are enacting it. Kabuliwala is a very famous one. I've just picked it up at random. And in that, you get to know the kind of character the Kabuliwala had and how he connected with Minnie and the kind of connect that was built that was lifelong. And that kind of human relations, even if you're coming from anywhere, this kind of connect is always built. So the studying of debatable. I was talking about Macbeth, about Othello and Julius Caesar and so on. Even As You Like It, Twelfth Night, Merchant of Venice, all these we were talking about. We study the strength of character. We always have characters which are contributing to the goodness and the characters who are maneuvering, creating intrigue, trying to use underhand means. So that sets us thinking. And this, of course, can only be possible through the experiential learning that theatre can provide. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think that was a very, very informative session. And yes, theatre, so many dimensions of theatre, ma'am's touched upon today, so many aspects of theatre and the way it can really change a learner's life. So, ma'am, I've got some really good comments. Shayok says that when he was younger in school, they enacted The Selfish Giant, and that brought so much unity in the class. They had an open theatre. So in the garden, they enacted out theatre, The Selfish Giant. I went back to my memory, down my memory lane, and I remember studying Julius Caesar. And for so many days, we would reach out and, we could keep on telling each other, et tu brute, and just living that moment. And when children do theatre, I feel they actually transform to that character, whichever character you are doing. You transform to that character, the whole environment of the school becomes like that, and everybody is in their own character. So I am Brutus, one of my friends Julius, one other friend is somebody else. So you're so into the moment, and that the year I studied Julius Caesar for 2 years, almost 9th and 10th. We were all, each one of us, anybody who's mean was the mean character, and then we used puns. So puns was very beautiful. And I remember, ma'am, you've also been doing using puns on each other in the class. So you taught us that also. So we used to use Pach, I will mend you. I still remember, I'm going to cobble you, I'll mend you. So these kind of things, and they add value, and English language learning becomes interesting. So in the a lot of teachers.
Yeah, and it's fun, now that you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I think that the connection is, you can hear me. So keeping in sync with the theme that WTD has talked about, the theme of theatre and culture of peace, we need to dwell on that. And I have taken an extract from the quality from Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice, Act 4, Scene 1, when Portia, in the speech, she's disguised as a lawyer, begs Shylock to show mercy to Antonio, the merchant. And the speech extols the power of mercy, an attribute to God himself. So I'll just read a few lines for us to, think that how important compassion, having empathy, compassion, mercy, kindness, these are the values which are required in the society. We should not forget that. And we should remember this, because these values make you not only a good human being, you become a good citizen, you have a good character, and you can always carry forward the society with these kind of values. So I'll just read out few lines in which Portia is in the court scene, and it's a very famous court scene. She's disguised as a lawyer, and she appeals to Shylock the Jew to pardon Antonio. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. The mightiest in the mighty, it becomes throned monarch, better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of power to all, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the heart of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. An earthly power doth then show like as gods when mercy seasons justice. So I'm just reading only this much because this is an earthly power. And if we imbibe this power, we can create heaven on earth.
Well,
So with that, I think with such a powerful message that gives, conclude, and I feel that time has really gone past, but has been great. I have learned a lot during this period of time, and I thank Himani and the Madhuban publishers for talking about bringing theatre into the homes of everyone by creating an awareness. And I'm sure as learners, we continue this movement a strong movement. Thank you.
thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for such an informative session. I would not talk a lot. I don't want to dilute the last words that ma'am concluded with and Portia's message on peace. And with that, thank you everybody for joining in. Everybody's been a wonderful audience. I can see a lot of comments on the chat box. Everybody is super excited and they really like the session, ma'am. That's very appreciative of everything that we've discussed today. Should you have any further queries, please feel free to get in touch with us. You can drop a message on the comment section. And as always, Madhuban Educational Books will keep coming with more such session. The aim is we are committed to learning. Madhuban, which is committed to learning, and we aim at providing children with the best of best learning aids and learning tools that we can, and empowering our educator community with the best ideas and innovative teaching methodologies. So on that note, thank you so much. Thank you all for being such a wonderful audience. Have a very great evening and a great weekend ahead. Thank you.
Renee.